The cover of this October issue is an illustration done by Taylor Moore and correlates to the subheading reading, "Students React in Time of Crises," alluding to the shooting threat that occurred on campus early October. The second half of the page includes an article about sports medicine and gives readers the 411 on what exactly happens in sports medicine and what classes are offered at O'Connor for students who have already taken Intro to Sports Med. Students who have taken both Intro and Advanced Sports Medicine are eligible to apply for the senior internship provided at O'Connor, where students are required to obtain a minimum of 5 observation hours each week. This class acts as a mock business where the students act as employees to further their understanding of sports medicine, some students even working off campus and shadowing physical therapists or chiropractors. Overall, this class seems to be a very useful tool for students who are looking to go into the field of sports medicine after high school, and is an excellent way to gain experience before graduation. The article then finishes on page 5. On page 2 and 3, you'll find just some of the key things that are happening on campus. First image to appear on the cover of page 2 is a peer-pupil comparison chart. This is basically the money being distributed, and the article is all about DVSC schools fighting for better funds. Next thing is the OC versus Mountain Ridge food drive. The food drive was a competition between all second-hour classes. The second-hour class that gains the most food would win a donut party and a free Beet Ridge shirt. Top of page 3 is the school schedule. The article is just talking about how confusing and ridiculous the new schedule is, and I agree. There's a different schedule almost every day. Interventions aren't being used as review time. Teachers are just using it as 25 extra minutes in their class to continue their lesson plans. And the seniors who have late starts and early release have different times to come to and leave school every day, and they'll need to memorize. It's just an overall confusing mess that really isn't necessary. Page 4 expands on an ongoing project on O'Connor's campus where ceramics teacher Mr. Younger has his Ceramics 1-2 classes create and design ceramic tiles with the intention of putting them on the benches around campus. Mr. Younger says he hopes that upon seeing the tile-covered benches, students will be more encouraged to take ceramic classes for their upcoming years at O'Connor. Having taken ceramics already, I consider it's a good class to relax in and just have fun focusing and working on different projects for an hour a day. It can be very therapeutic if you allow it to be, and a good way for students to express themselves. The first article on page 5 reads, "Eagle Pack is there for students' welfare," and delves into what Eagle Pack is all about. Club President Alex Caston has been working with the organization Bloom 365 since the summer to bring this club to the O'Connor campus. This club is all about uprooting abuse, spreading positivity, opening up about mental health, and recognizing negative patterns in your life and finding healthy ways to change them. The article also tells students that club meetings are twice a month on Thursdays in Miss Stevenson's room, and club members anticipate on spreading the club more around campus to encourage more students to join. This is the first time O'Connor has had a club like this on its campus, and it seems like this is exactly what the students here need, especially considering mental health issues are so prominent amongst the youth. The bottom fourth of the page is a continuation of the article on the cover page regarding sports medicine and further launching the careers of the students in that field. Page 6 goes into telling the students about Mr. McLean's site department change from mathematics to athletic director. He tells students how he hopes to improve coaching and teamwork dynamic. The bottom half is spreading awareness of a club called Teen Artist Guild, where their goal is to help students achieve their goals in the art world by giving them more opportunities to express their passions. Page 7 expands on the esports scene and how Mr. Hafer, advisor of the esports club, is planning on working with Grand Canyon University to host a tournament. The article also reads that this club was initially started to give students on the west side of the valley an opportunity to participate in tournaments without having to travel so far. Pages 8 and 9 are the OC Captured spread. The interviews and photographs were both by Isabella Foster and Lexi Gass. The spotlight was on Haley Bishop, Max Lyons, and Amy Alley in this issue of OC Captured. Maybe it could have been better in terms of why these 3 were chosen. This spread focuses on the school shooting threat that our campus faced on the morning of October 8th. OHS staff sent an email out around 7:15 a.m. alerting parents of a vague threat they had received a week prior. The fact that the school sent out the alert so late sent parents into an outrage, and many parents rushed to the school to pick up their kids. The article goes into telling about the inconveniences parents and students had to face that day due to lack of communication and time management. The article then gives a statement from Mr. McLean saying that from a security and student point of view, everything was absolutely handled in the best way possible. There are a number of people who would disagree with that statement, and the article provided how some students felt during the scenario that took place, allowing the opposite side a chance to voice their opinion. Looking at this optimistically, I feel as though this was a good learning experience for O'Connor, and hope that in future times of crisis, things will be handled with a bit more grace and less emotional casualties. Page 12 highlights Trump's Ukraine call and the accusations that Trump is abusing his presidential powers to get dirt on political opponents. The article also mentions how the president's business holdings overseas raised concerns over the violation of the foreign emolument clauses, before further expanding on the phone call with the president of Ukraine and how Trump withheld $400 million in aid to Ukraine just a week prior to the call. This raised suspicions because the call was in regards to the investigation of Joe Biden and his son for their past work in Ukraine. The page then goes on to talking about NCAA taking action of California law. It reads that California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill that allows NCAA athletes to profit off endorsements and uses of their image or likeness. This law will be enacted in 2023 and is an amazing opportunity for college athletes who have yet to get the chance to allow their hard work in athletics to pay off. However, the NCAA is opposed to this law because it tackles the reputation of keeping college only for amateur players. Overall, this law seems as an opportunity for young athletes to succeed and have the chance to meet their goals. Page 13's headline reads, DaBaby's new album cements status in rap. And the article that follows talks about his second album that was released on the 27th of September. The article elaborates on the rapper's style of music, his inspirations, collaborations, and his writing styles while giving an overall statement on the album, saying that there are multiple great tracks and how he is poised to make waves in the rap world. The article below then discusses meat that is being used for fast food and targets Burger King's Impossible Whopper. It states that the Impossible Whopper was made possible by the company Impossible Foods, whose goal is to replace animal meat with plant-based meat. Since the birth of Impossible Burger at Burger King, restaurants such as Red Robin and Little Caesars have added Impossible meat to their menus as well. Reading the article, it just seems as though the Impossible Burger is pretty close to the real deal, just vegan friendly. These pages are focused on the arts and entertainment. Page 14 is on the performing arts programs at SDOHS. First article on page 14 is about High School Musical, the musical that theater performed. The theater typically leans towards Broadway classics, but this year they decided to go for a more modern approach. Sounds like theater was excited for this one. High School Musical was a large part of our childhoods. Most of us did grow up watching the Disney Channel original movie. Below that is the article on the choir. Their most recent performance alongside the Stetson Hills Choir was amazing. The extra kids from Stetson really made an impact on the choir. Their sound was fuller and the music was great. Page 15 and 16 are both focused on entertainment. Top of page 15 is Borderlands 3. The newest installment of the game had a lot to prove. After the last installment was a huge flop, many thought that Borderlands 3 wasn't going to be any better, but they were wrong. The article goes to explain everything that makes Borderlands 3 way better than the last installment. Gemini Man, the movie starring Will Smith and Will Smith. Will Smith being the star actor in this movie, it had to be great, right? Wrong. The movie overall was a flop. The story plot was poorly developed, and the idea of an evil clone was so cliche. Finally, page 16, The Joker. The Joker is finally released to theaters after it was first announced fall of 2018. The movie wasn't being looked forward to at first, but after a few teaser trailers were released and then an actual trailer, people were getting a taste of what was coming and the hype was finally starting to build up. The not-so-classic approach to a DC movie of the classic villain was different. The colorful scenery that looks like it came out of a supervillain coloring book is a completely different take on the DC movie. DC movies usually lean towards the darker colors, a more of a gray scale is used for the movie. On top of that, the movie took a more personal take on the character, getting the audience engaged with the character and focused on just the character and his story and not the cinematic universe it's a part of. And one of the things that really stands out about this movie. The top half of page 17 indulges into the life of football at OC, freshman, varsity, and JV. Each section talks about teamwork and what it takes to be on the field every day. The football players at O'Connor are very dedicated to the sport and put their all into every practice and every game. The article glances over this year's football season and the hardships that came along with it. The bottom half of page 17 discusses the boys and girls golf team. The boys golf team kicked off the season strongly and plans on finishing the season strong as well. The girls golf team, although started out rough, has made a comeback and are working extremely hard with their strengths and weaknesses. Page 18 starts off with badminton finishing the season with a bang. Varsity faced each game with bravery and has looked at every match optimistically and is continuing to gain experience and improve. For JV, it was a lot of the players' first time experiencing what it's like to be in the game and work as a team. Overall, it's been a great experience for many girls on both teams and has given them the chance to grow into better athletes. The bottom half of the page speaks about volleyball expectations for varsity, JV, and freshman teams. Each section goes over how the girls are all working as a team and stressing on how important communication is when on the court. All teams have worked very hard this season and it seems they're quite ambitious. Page 19 starts with discussing the swim team and how the season is going. Students are pushing themselves to become better athletes and to meet their goals. The article also explains that the swim team is incorporating more team bonding to make for a successful season. OHS swim team plans on working hard and doing the best they can at every meet. The bottom half of page 19 delves into cross country. Cross country is approaching its close to an excellent season and athletes are working their hardest to attain faster times. Cross country takes a lot of discipline and relentless practice but can still be fun. The students are excited to finish off the season and come back stronger.